Hi girls, welcome to lesson 9. Today you're working with Miss Martino. Our focus today is going to be on paper 2 and looking at question 2 and question 3. So for today's lesson you're going to need your booklet, a pen, and it's always helpful to have your dictionary handy. Make sure you have those things with you before you move on. For the Do Now task today, you're going to recap on the reading skills needed for each question. You need to match question 2, question 3 and question 4 to the correct reading skill that is listed. Press pause to do this and then press play to find out the answers. So the answers for this task are listed there for you. So question 1, the question where you have to compare and analyse is question 4. Number 2, the question where you summarise and find the suitable quotation is question 2 of the GCSE paper. And then for number 3, where you analyse the writer's techniques, that's done in both question 3 and question 4. Press pause and mark your work, and then press play when you're ready to move on. Today's lesson objectives are to practice the skills that you need to demonstrate in your answers to question 2 and question 3, and to explore the effects of a writer's use of language and techniques in a PEE written response. Before we begin answering these questions, it's important to note the following. So this is just a recap on the skills that are needed for question 2 and question 3. So for question 2, you're going to be doing a summary of the two sources that you're going to be given, and you're going to be given a specific focus. So question 2 is a comprehension question, asking you to find differences between two texts and then summarizing those differences. For question 3, it's a close language analysis of a section of one source. So question 3 is an analysis question where it's asking you to comment on how the writers use language methods to show you something. It's really important that you understand the difference between those two questions. So take a moment now just to have a quick read over that again to make sure that you're very clear on what the difference is between question 2 and question 3. I'd like you to take a few minutes now to read source B in your booklet. Press pause to do this and then press play when you're ready to move on. Alright, so when answering question 2, there are a few top tips to help you focus on the point of the question. Take a few moments to read through this list. This slide will be a really good resource to come back to later on when you are attempting question 2. So take a few moments now to read through this list. Press pause on the video if you want some more time, and then press play when you're ready to move on. Okay, so for activity 2, I'd like you to reread the opening part of source B on the previous page of your booklet, and then select the most suitable quote or point in the spaces below. Your job is to fill in the blank boxes of the table, either by writing in the quote that links to the point or writing the point that links to the quotation. Press pause to complete the table now, and then press play when you're ready to move on. For activity 3, you need to read the rest of source B in the booklet. Highlight and annotate around the extract in your work booklet, and pick out the powerful words and techniques that you spot. You can also use the glossary in your workbook to help you. Press pause to complete this task, and then press play when you're ready to move on. Question 2 in the exam will ask you to summarise differences between part of the topic in both sources. Using details from both source A and source B, jot down notes in the tables in your workbooks about how they lead their lives and how they treat dogs. Press pause to complete activity 4 now, and then press play for your next instructions. Now in your workbook, you need to summarize one of your main points about both sources. You only need to use the point and evidence for question 2, and you don't have to give any explanation. Press pause on the video now to have a go at this, and then press play when you're ready to move on. For question 3 of the GCSE paper, you will be analysing the writer's use of language and techniques. Read the short passage in your workbook, and next to each of the words and phrases below the passage, explain why you think the writer has used each word or technique. What does each word reveal? Complete this activity in your booklet. Press pause to do this now, and then press play to move on. Finally, for today, you're going to write your own PEE paragraph in response to question 3. Use the table you completed in the previous activity to help you. You can also use the model response in your workbook to help if you're having trouble. When you've written your answer, use the success criteria on this slide to set your own EBI. Once you've done this, write an improved version of your PEE. Thanks again for your hard work today, girls. In our next lesson, we're going to focus on question 4 of paper 2. Have a great day.